Chosen One, it's a trap for all of you. Get out now. In the sleepy Rust Belt town of Black Hollow, Ohio, population 4,217, nothing ever happened that couldn't be explained by bad luck, bad weather, or bad decisions. The steel mill had closed in '98, the river ran brown from upstream factories, and the only thing that still drew outsiders was the annual Fall Festival with its overpriced kettle corn and a haunted hayride that was more embarrassing than scary. Until the summer of 2025, when the signs began. It started with dreams, not the ordinary kind, vivid, shared dreams that left people waking up gasping the same phrase. The Chosen One walks among you. At first, folks laughed it off. Small towns love a good rumor. But then the dreams turned prophetic. Mrs. Harlan dreamed her grandson would win the state lottery. He did, $3.2 million. Pastor Ellis dreamed the old oak on Miller's Ridge would fall during a storm and crush the church steeple. It happened 2 nights later, missing the congregation by minutes. Word spread like wildfire through the churches, the diners, the VFW hall. A chosen one had arrived. Someone special, marked by God or fate or something older, was here to lead them out of decay, maybe even restore the town, bring back jobs, heal the river, make Black Hollow shine again. The dreams all pointed to one person, Caleb Morrow. Caleb was 28, quiet, worked nights at the only gas station still open past 10. He lived in his late mother's trailer on the edge of town, fixed old motorcycles for extra cash, and kept to himself. No wife, no kids, no drama. But the dreams insisted, he carries the light, he will guide you. At first, Caleb denied it. I'm nobody, he'd mutter when people started showing up at the trailer with casseroles and hopeful eyes. But the signs kept piling up. When he walked past the shuttered mill, the rusted gates groaned open on their own. When he touched the polluted riverbank, fish, real living fish, suddenly surfaced, silver and thrashing. Strangers began arriving, pilgrims they called themselves. They camped in the fields, held candlelight vigils, chanted his name like a prayer. The town council, desperate for any kind of revival, embraced it. Mayor Whitaker declared Chosen One Week. They built a makeshift stage in the town square. Billboards went up. Come see the Chosen One. Miracles await. Tourists poured in. The diner started serving Chosen burgers. The hardware store sold t-shirts. I believe in Caleb. Caleb hated it. Every night the dreams grew darker. Not his dreams anymore, everyone's. Now they whispered warnings, shadows moving behind him, hands reaching from the dark, a voice hissing, stay, lead them, they need you. One night, alone in the trailer, Caleb woke sweating. The room smelled of sulfur. In the mirror, his reflection smiled when he didn't. The voice spoke aloud this time, calm and paternal. You are the chosen one, Caleb, but not the way they think. The trap is almost set. They will follow you anywhere, and when they do, they will all fall. He stumbled outside. The sky was wrong, too red, too still. Lightning cracked without thunder. Then he saw it. Figures in the tree line. Not people, not exactly. Tall, thin, wearing the faces of the pilgrims, but their eyes glowed like dying coals. He ran. He didn't stop until dawn, hiding in the old mill. There, among the broken machinery, he found something that made his stomach drop. Blueprints. Not old mill plans, new ones. Tunnels beneath the town square, chambers lined with symbols he recognized from the dreams. Circles, eyes, inverted crosses. At the center, a stage, his stage, and beneath it, a pit. The trap wasn't for him. It was for them. For everyone who believed. The Chosen One's story had been engineered, not by God, not by fate, by something ancient that fed on hope, on blind faith, on crowds that gathered and chanted and surrendered their will. The pilgrims weren't followers, they were bait. The more they believed, the stronger the thing became. It had waited decades for the perfect vessel, someone quiet, broken enough to doubt himself, yet pure enough that people would trust him without question. Caleb realized the truth in flashes: the lottery win to draw attention, the falling tree to prove protection, the fish to sell the miracle. Every sign had been bait, and now the festival was tomorrow night. Thousands would come. They would stand in the square, look up at him on the stage, and give themselves over completely. Then the ground would open. He tried to warn them. He went door to door at 3 a.m., banging, shouting, "It's a lie! Get out! Leave town now!" Most slammed doors in his face. Some laughed. A few listened, pale, remembering their own dark dreams. Pastor Ellis met him at the church. "Caleb, son, you're tired. The devil's putting doubts in your head because you're close to your purpose." Caleb grabbed the pastor's collar. "Look at the blueprints. Look under the stage. It's not salvation. It's a harvest." The pastor's eyes flickered. Something cold passed through them. "You were chosen to lead them to the light, Caleb. Don't fight it." Caleb backed away. The pastor's smile was too wide. He had one night. He stole a truck from the gas station, loaded it with every flare, fire extinguisher, and crowbar he could find. He drove to the edge of town, to the old radio tower on Ridge Road, the highest point. If he could broadcast on the emergency frequency, maybe someone outside Black Hollow would hear him, maybe the National Guard, maybe anyone. He climbed the tower in the dark, wind howling. At the top, he rigged the old broadcast equipment. His hands shook as he spoke into the mic. "This is Caleb Morrow from Black Hollow, Ohio. If you're hearing this, listen. There's no chosen one. It's a trap. Something's coming for the town tomorrow night. Everyone who stays will be taken. Get out now. Tell everyone, get out now." Static. Then voices, hundreds of them, overlapping, laughing, whispering his name. The tower lights flared, the metal groaned, shadows rose from the ground like smoke, climbing the lattice towards him. He jumped. Not to die, to the truck below. He drove back into town like a madman, horn blaring, lights flashing. He crashed through the barricades around the square. People were already gathering, early risers setting up chairs, hanging banners. "Run!" he screamed from the truck window. "It's a trap! Get out!" In the forgotten corners of America's heartland, where the Rust Belt met the endless cornfields of Ohio, lay the town of Black Hollow. Founded in 1852 by steel barons who promised prosperity, it had long since withered into a ghost of its former self. The massive Hawthorne steel mill, once employing half the town, had shuttered in 1998 amid scandals of toxic dumping and corporate greed. The Black River, named for the inky sludge that now choked its waters, snaked through the valley like a vein of poison. Population: 4,217 souls, most clinging to fading memories of better days. The only events that stirred the air were the annual Fall Festival, a sad affair of wilted pumpkins, greasy funnel cakes, and a haunted hayride pulled by a tractor older than most residents, and the occasional bar fight at O'Malley's Tavern. But in the sweltering summer of 2025, something unnatural began to stir. It started subtly, like a whisper in the wind, but soon it gripped the town like a fever dream. The first whispers. Evelyn Harlan, a widow in her 70s who ran the local diner, was the first to speak of it publicly. She woke one night in a cold sweat, her quilt twisted around her like a shroud. In her dream, a luminous figure had stood at the edge of the mill's rusted gates, bathed in an ethereal glow. The figure turned, revealing a face she couldn't quite make out, and spoke. "The chosen one walks among you. He carries the light to banish the shadows." Evelyn dismissed it as indigestion from too much coffee, but the next morning at the diner, as she poured refills for the regulars, truckers, farmers, and the unemployed mill hands, others confessed similar visions. "I saw him too," muttered old Mr. Jenkins, a veteran with a limp from Vietnam. "Said he'd bring back the jobs, clean the river." By noon, the diner buzzed with talk. Dreams weren't uncommon in Black Hollow. Folks blamed the water or the isolation, But shared dreams? That was new. Pastor Samuel Ellis, the fiery leader of Black Hollow Baptist Church, seized on it during Sunday service. "Brothers and sisters," he boomed from the pulpit, his voice echoing off the peeling paint. "These are signs from the Lord, a chosen one like Moses or David, sent to lead us out of this wilderness." The congregation murmured in agreement, desperate for hope. The town had lost its youth to cities like Cleveland or Columbus. Opioids had claimed too many. Foreclosures dotted the streets like scars. The dreams escalated. They became prophetic. Evelyn dreamed her grandson Tommy would scratch off a lottery ticket worth millions. 2 days later, he did. $3.2 million from a gas station scratcher. The town erupted in celebration. Tommy, a lanky 19-year-old with dreams of college, became a local hero. "It's a miracle," he said on the local radio. But in private, he confided to Evelyn, "Gran, in the dream, the chosen one handed me the ticket, but his eyes, they were wrong, like coals in a fire." Then came the oak tree on Niller's Ridge. Pastor Ellis dreamed it would fall during a storm, crushing the church steeple. That very night, thunder roared, and the ancient tree toppled, splintering the steeple but sparing the building and the prayer group inside. "Divine intervention," Ellis proclaimed. Donations poured in. The church repaired the damage in record time. All the dreams pointed to one man, Caleb Morrow, the reluctant prophet. Caleb was an unassuming figure, 28 years old, with calloused hands from wrenching on motorcycles and a quiet demeanor that bordered on reclusive. He'd grown up in Black Hollow, son of a mill worker who died young from lung disease, black lung they called it, from the mill's fumes, and a mother who succumbed to cancer 5 years back, blaming the river's toxins. Caleb lived in her old trailer on the outskirts, a faded blue box surrounded by junked bikes and overgrown weeds. By day, he pumped gas at the 24/7 Quick Mart. By night, he read dog-eared paperbacks, mostly thrillers about ordinary men thrust into extraordinary fates. When the rumors reached him, he laughed them off. "Chosen one? Me? You've got the wrong guy," he'd say, wiping oil from his hands. But the signs wouldn't let him deny it. One evening, as he walked past the Hawthorne Mill's chained gates, a gust of wind rose from nowhere. The chains rattled, then snapped free. The gates creaked open, revealing the shadowy interior where machinery rusted like forgotten bones. Caleb froze, heart pounding. He stepped back, and the gates slammed shut. Word spread. Pilgrims arrived. First a trickle, then a flood. They came from neighboring towns, then states. A family from Indiana seeking healing for their sick child. A group of doomsday preppers from Kentucky convinced the end times were nigh. Even a slick podcaster from Chicago, microphone in hand, chasing viral fame. They camped in the fields around Caleb's trailer, holding vigils with candles and hymns. "Show us the light," they'd chant. Caleb barricaded himself inside, peering through curtains. The dreams haunted him too, but his were darker. In them, the luminous figure wasn't benevolent. It whispered promises, but its voice echoed with malice. "Lead them, Caleb. They hunger for salvation. Give it to them."
The town council, led by Mayor Harlan Whitaker, a portly man with a mustache like a broom and ambitions for higher office, saw opportunity. "This could put Black Hollow on the map," he declared at a packed town hall. They voted unanimously, declare Chosen One Week, culminating in a grand festival in the town square. Billboards sprang up along the highway. "Witness the Chosen One! Miracles await in Black Hollow!" The diner rebranded burgers as Chosen Patties. Souvenir shops sold mugs emblazoned with Caleb's face, sketched from memory. Caleb resisted. "I'm not your savior," he told Whitaker when the mayor showed up with a contract for appearances, but the pressure mounted. One night, a crowd gathered outside his trailer, torches flickering. They begged for a sign. Reluctantly, Caleb stepped out. As he approached the polluted Black River, the water churned. Fish, dozens of them, silver-scaled and alive, leaped to the surface, defying the toxicity that had killed off aquatic life decades ago. The crowd gasped, fell to their knees. "It's him!" someone cried. That sealed it. Caleb became a prisoner of his own legend. The cracks in the facade. But doubt gnawed at Caleb. The miracles felt staged, like tricks in a magician's act. He started noticing anomalies. The pilgrim's eyes sometimes glinted unnaturally in the firelight. Shadows in the corners of rooms moved when no one was looking. His trailer began to reek of sulfur, faint at first, then overpowering. One midnight, he bolted awake. The mirror in his bathroom fogged over, and words etched themselves in the steam. "The trap is set." His reflection grinned, teeth too sharp. A voice, deep and resonant, spoke from the glass. "You are the chosen one, Caleb, but not for them, for us. They will follow you into the abyss, and we will feast on their faith." Terror propelled him outside. The sky bled red, stars winking out like dying embers. In the tree line, figures lurked, tall, elongated silhouettes with borrowed faces from the pilgrims. Their eyes burned like hot coals. Caleb ran, barefoot through the fields, until he collapsed in the Hawthorne Mill's shadow. Inside the mill, amid cobwebs and derelict machines, he found a hidden door behind a conveyor belt. It led to a basement chamber, untouched by time. Blueprints covered the walls, not mill schematics, but something sinister. Tunnels webbed beneath the town, converging under the square. Chambers etched with arcane symbols, inverted pentagrams, all-seeing eyes, spirals that twisted the mind. At the epicenter, the festival stage. Below it, a vast pit labeled The Harvest. Caleb's blood ran cold. The dreams, the prophecies, they weren't divine. They were engineered by an entity older than the town, perhaps as old as the land itself. Black Hollow's history whispered of it, native legends of a shadow eater that lurked in the valleys, feeding on collective despair. The mill's closure, the river's poison, fuel for its hunger. Now it had evolved, preying on hope instead. The lottery, the tree, the fish, lures to build belief. The pilgrims were chum in the water. The entity needed a vessel, a chosen one broken enough to doubt, pure enough to inspire. Caleb fit perfectly. The festival would be the culmination. Thousands gathered, surrendering their will in ecstasy. Then the ground would open and the shadows would claim them. Not death, but something worse. Eternal entrapment in illusion, their souls' sustenance for the beast. Caleb had hours before dawn. He photocopied the blueprints at the Quick Mart and pounded on doors. "It's a trap!" he yelled at Evelyn's house. She opened the door, eyes wide. "Caleb, what's wrong?" "Look," he thrust the papers at her. "Under the square, it's not a miracle. It's a pit. Something's using me to lure everyone in." Evelyn paled, remembering Tommy's dream. "The eyes, like coals," she nodded. "I'll tell Tommy. We'll leave at first light." But most rejected him. Mayor Whitaker called the sheriff. "Caleb's cracked under pressure. Lock him up for his own good." Pastor Ellis was worse. At the church, he met Caleb with a serene smile. "Doubts are the devil's work, son. You're on the cusp of glory." Caleb shoved the blueprints forward. "This is glory? A harvest for shadows?" Ellis's eyes flickered, coal-black for a split second. "Lead them, Caleb, or we'll find another." Caleb fled, realizing the entity had tendrils in key figures. It whispered to them too, promising power. He stole Whitaker's truck from the town hall lot, loading it with flares, gasoline cans, and tools. He headed to the old radio tower on Miller's Ridge, the highest point, with an